This is the American Family Association at AFA Today.
Glad you're with us from New York City, per usual. It's Cavill McCullough back behind the microphone after spending a few days away from the studio here because of something that I'll tell you a little bit about in terms of what I was doing and where I was. But so glad you're with us. Thank you for listening to AFR and AFA Today. Thank you for supporting the Critter campaign through Gospel for Asia. That continues, and you can peruse the options and make the purchase for a family in need by going to afa.net and clicking on the Critter Campaign button. Actually, afr.net and clicking on the Gospel for Asia Christmas button. You'll see that there on the homepage. But we've got lots to get to, and I'm grateful that you're with us. Cavill McCullough saying, by the way, the phone lines are open, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. There is some news. While I was gone from the country, it appears as though the Boehner House passed a Paul Ryan budget bill that, according to the headline on Drudge, 0 Senate Republicans will support. Well, I'm glad we used all that energy. Now, what we'll do is we'll do some research on this over the next couple of days and give you some deeper analysis of it. But it is one of those things where the dysfunction of Washington is so pronounced. It's at every corner. It's both parties. It's everything you can imagine. There's not a lot of good going on in big government. And one of the reasons that I can recognize that and say that easily is because I've been out of the country for 3 to 4 days. Some of you have wondered where I was. There's a little island nation called Haiti that is very close to my heart. And my oldest son is adopted from there. And for the last couple of days, I have been traveling the countryside in Haiti with a group of broadcasters, Steve Dace being one of them, who's heard on some of these stations in the evening. But Stephen Baldwin, the actor, Danny Johnson, a business and finance talk show host, and some others. And we were with an organization that has done a lot of work down there since the earthquake in 2010. And saw some pretty incredible stuff. Last year, I had the distinct privilege of being associated with some people that put in some water filtration systems. And we visited one of the schools where one of these filtration systems was installed. And when we got there, all the girls had their it's a girls' school. They all had their little pink and blue dresses on, and they had their little ribbons in their hair, and they did clean, beautiful, happy faces. And they were singing for us. They were singing loud outside the school, and this was a relatively new school. But they were clapping and singing, and they brought us in, and they did a little presentation for us, and then they read a speech in perfect French. Now, French is as learned a language in Haiti as English would be if you were to try to learn how to speak it. You have to go to school because the common language there is Haitian Creole. And that's what's spoken almost everywhere. But the interesting thing about this is that as they went through the program, and I couldn't understand most of it, they got to the point where they were saying, Merci beaucoup, Jésus Christ, which is thank you very much, Jesus Christ. And what were they thanking very much Jesus Christ for? Because some Americans that happened to listen to the Cavill McCullough show and a few of these other talk shows had last year promised that there would be some clean drinking water provided for them. And the clean drinking water that was provided for them runs through a little sand filter, removes about 99.95% of all of the impurities that are in the water. And that means they can take everything from, sea salt out of the ocean water to the sewage in the malaria and the other disease-causing elements that are in the polluted water sources, of which I saw a few with my own bare eyes. And it was just one of those disturbing things that you say, here are kids drinking and bathing and using all of this. This water is used for the same thing all the time. And they think that if you just boil it, that you're going to get it all out. That doesn't actually happen to be the case. And so these 99.95% water filtration systems that just get everything out have been a huge blessing. And the girls, they thanked us, and then they sang songs for us, and they thanked the Lord Jesus, and then they asked us to cut the ribbon, and we commissioned the water treatment center in this one location to the use of the school, the girls' lives, and for the glory and honor of God. I did not know this until we were on the bus leaving that location. But every one of the girls that was in that school were victims of the earthquake from 2010. They were now orphans. These were not girls that were going to go home at night and be with their mother and father. They were children that had no mother and father. And so to see the joy on their face, to see the gratitude in their heart, to see the honor and glory that they gave to God, just to get the simple gift of pure water. Friends, is it any wonder that when I stepped foot back on American soil yesterday, I got very irritated very fast. You see the vast amounts of ways we lose patience with things, that we want our way, and if we don't get our way immediately, it's a lawsuit being filed somewhere immediately. At the end of the day, we don't know what it is to suffer. At the end of the day, we don't know what it is to truly go without. At the end of the day, we believe in America that, for some reason we're more important or that we have it worse off, and all of that's completely untrue. God loves those little girls in Haiti at the school where they actually live. I thought it was just a school. It actually is their home. They have dormitories and other things that are there as well. But these are all more than 200 girls. And we met in a brand new chapel that had been built by another ministry. And it was just a really beautiful couple of hours that we spent with them. And to see how God works, to see how he works on us. It was interesting, and I'm not telling anything out of class here because my friend Steve Dace, who does a show on some of these same stations, he had never been out of the country before. He had never gone past the borders of the United States, and so for him to do this, first of all, was quite big. But Haiti is the poorest country in the entire Western Hemisphere. It's the third poorest country on the planet. It's really bad. I tell people in America all the time, there's poverty, and then there's Haitian poverty. You don't see a lot of trash and stuff because they reuse everything. They can't afford to throw things away. They don't have that luxury. The day before I left, we have Recycle in the little village where our home is, and it'd been a couple of weeks since Recycle had come, and my wife had ordered some things, and so there were large boxes for the cardboard pile, and the cans and glass barrel was full, and in the snow that was coming down, mixed with rain and sleet, before I left, I had to get this soggy cardboard to the curb so that it could be picked up by the recycle people the next day, and I was very irritated about it. I was very, this is so annoying. Why am I having to do this? Why am I having to do this in the rain? Why is this falling apart? And I was literally just, grousing about it. I got to my friend's house who I was picking up and taking on the trip with us, and I said, Rob, you're not going to believe this. This is what I had to do, and you see how wet my coat is, and I made a mess of myself and everything else. I came back utterly ashamed, having ever even uttered those words. Because at the end of the day, there's some little girls in a school that just think that the sun just, shone a new level of brightness the day that some clean water came into their life. And the ultimate thing happened. They didn't thank us or the people that we had helped encourage raise the money for it. They came and thanked Jesus Christ publicly. It was such a powerful thing. And I had a whole series of days just like that, just experience after experience. So anyway, thank you for your patience in letting me be away from the microphone. I missed you a lot. I'm not sorry I took the time away. I missed you, but I'm never sorry to take that time away and to go to those places and to do those things. It's just too important. It convicts me too much. I change too much in the process of allowing myself to experience that. So anyway, Cavill McCullough, glad you're with us. Evidently yesterday in Congress there was another activity going on that I would like to discuss and get your thoughts on, and it has to do with Pastor Saeed Abedini. The wife of the American pastor held in the Iranian prison challenged President Obama, saying the Iranian government is using her husband to test his resolve when it comes to protecting Americans. This is what she told Congress. I believe it was yesterday, according to what I heard speaking with Jordan Sekulow just a little while ago. My husband is suffering because he is a Christian, she says. He is suffering because he's an American. Yet his own government did not fight for him when his captors were across the table. Nagma Abedini, wife of Pastor Saeed Abedini, told lawmakers today, referring to the recent nuclear negotiations between Iran and the U.S. Iran is curious. How strong is our American president? How serious is he about our American security? Would he act with firm resolve to protect and to defend? Saeed Abedini, an American citizen who has worked setting up churches in Iran for nearly a decade, was arrested in 2012 on charges he related to his religious beliefs, according to the State Department. His wife, Nagma, told lawmakers in a joint subcommittee hearing for the House Foreign Affairs yesterday that he has been subjected to torture and told that if he converts back to Islam, he would be set free. That's all he has to do is convert back to Islam. Saeed Abedini is one of 3 Americans believed to be held in Iran. Arizona-born Amir Hekmati, a former Marine, was arrested in Tehran in 2011 on charges of espionage. He was sentenced to death, but later had that sentence overturned. Last month, former FBI agent Robert Levinson became the longest-held American at nearly 7 years in captivity, though the Iranian government has not admitted it, that it is holding Levinson. Levinson disappeared while visiting Iran's Kish Island on March of 2007. Okay, some simple questions out of all of this. Nagma Abedini had the chance to go up to Congress yesterday, and she basically said that the president failed. He just completely abdicated his responsibility. That when he had the power to say to the Iranian counterparts in that Geneva meeting that we were kind of largely kept in the dark on until it had happened, and they came out and they said, "Hey, this is a great deal. We just gave the Iranians $8 billion, and we're hoping, really hoping that they won't do anything to create nuclear weapons anymore." Crossing our fingers. Pinky swears. At the end of the day, Nagma Abedini felt abandoned. She felt betrayed. Why wouldn't she feel that way? She had personal assurances from Secretary of State Kerry that they would do exactly the opposite of what they did. And it's very interesting that the media here is reporting that Abedini is basically the equivalent bargaining chip of a former CIA officer and a former FBI agent. In fact, I want to ask you what you think about that. 888-589-8840. It is clear that Mr. Abedini poses no security threat to Iran whatsoever. It's very clear that he's not a CIA agent. It's very clear that he's not an FBI agent. It's very clear that he doesn't have any ability to do any of the things that those 2 other gentlemen could in fact do if they were turned loose. And I don't know how you feel about countries catching spies and putting them in jail, but it's what we do. It's one of the risks you take when you go into that line of work. I'm not saying that they should, because of that, they should be left in Iran. And if the president has the power to get them out, then so be it. But do you think it's fair? Do you think it's equivalent to lump Pastor Saeed Abedini into the same kit and caboodle as a former CIA and former FBI guy? I'm not sure about that. What do you think? 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. I'm Cavill McCullough. This is AFA Today, and I'm really grateful that you're here. Thanks so much. Stay with us. More straight ahead as we take your calls. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840.